Welcome to this explainer. You know, if you live here in Colorado, you already know our environment is absolutely stunning. But man, it is incredibly brutal on our homes. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating technical analysis of why this extreme environment is literally forcing a structural revolution in how we build luxury outdoor living spaces. We're going to break down the science, the economics, and the frankly brilliant engineering behind modern deck foundations.
Let's start with a quick thought experiment. I want you to picture your current deck, but specifically think about the substructure underneath it, right? Most of us obsess over the surface boards, the sleek railings, the overall aesthetic, but we completely ignore what's actually holding the whole shebang up. So are traditional materials hiding dangerous rotting liabilities right beneath the surface of your beautiful outdoor oasis? Well, for a lot of homeowners, the answer is unfortunately a resounding yes. Let's look at exactly why that is.
50 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, in Colorado, we regularly see these dramatic 50-degree temperature swings in a single day. It could be a freezing, frost-covered morning, and then a totally sun-baked, blazing afternoon. For traditional building materials like wood, this is an absolute nightmare. It causes the organic fibers to violently expand and contract day in and day out, which ultimately leads to loosened fasteners, structural splitting, and eventually, complete failure.
And hey, it's not just the temperature swings we have to worry about. Up at high altitudes, we're bombarded with 25% stronger UV radiation. That literally breaks down the wood's lignin and causes massive surface cracking. Then you throw in the heavy snow loads. I mean, Denver averages over 60 inches of snow a year, and our mountain towns get way more than that. When that snow melts during the day, seeps right into the cracks of your wood frame, and then refreezes at night, it creates what engineers call ice lensing. This rapid expansion physically tears pressure-treated lumber apart from the inside out. It's wild. You see, the traditional residential decking industry has relied on pressure-treated wood for almost a century. But as we just saw, it rots, it warps, and crucially, it is highly combustible. So what's the modern engineering solution? TimberTech aluminum framing. This stuff is a total game changer. It is completely rot-proof, remains perfectly flat, and boasts a Class A fire rating. The science here clearly shows it is time for an upgrade, especially out here in the Rockies.
Just look at the modern premium vibe of this matte black aluminum framing. It's incredibly sleek, right? But the real magic is in the engineering. Aluminum has a vastly superior strength-to-weight ratio compared to traditional wood. To put that into perspective, a TimberTech 2x8 aluminum joist gives you the exact same structural integrity as a massive, bulky 2x12 pressure-treated wood joist. So what does that actually mean for you? Well, it means you can span much longer distances with fewer vertical posts. And if you live up in the high country, fewer posts mean your incredible mountain views stay totally unobstructed.
Now, you might be wondering how this metal survives the elements. It all comes down to a brilliant metallurgical advantage called passivization. Basically, when aluminum is exposed to the atmosphere, it naturally forms this microscopic aluminum oxide layer. This creates an absolutely impenetrable barrier against moisture. When you add in TimberTech's premium powder coating, the frame becomes entirely immune to the fungal rot and rust that absolutely destroys traditional decks, especially those low-to-the-ground builds where moisture just loves to get trapped.
And check out how beautifully flush those composite boards are sitting. Because aluminum is dimensionally stable, which is just a fancy way of saying it won't absorb moisture, crown, twist, or cup the way wood does as it dries out, it creates an incredibly flat, precise surface. Your expensive, luxury deck boards are never going to warp or get wavy because the foundation underneath them is absolutely true and perfectly level.
Okay, we need to pivot for a second to something incredibly urgent for all of us Colorado homeowners. How does your current deck hold up to the new 2025 Colorado Wildfire Resiliency Code, or CWRC? As the threat of wildfires keeps growing across the Front Range and our mountain towns, local governments are stepping up and implementing some really aggressive new fire resistance codes.
Here's the scary part. Traditional wood frames actually act as dangerous fuel bridges. If a stray wildfire ember blows right under your deck, a wood frame can sit there, smolder, and eventually ignite your entire house. Aluminum changes the game completely. TimberTech's aluminum framing is inherently non-combustible. It carries a Class A flame spread rating, which is literally the highest possible designation. It won't ignite, it won't spread flames, and it hits that strict wildland-urban interface, or WI compliance, that's required for home hardening in high-risk zones. Honestly, that kind of peace of mind is priceless.
Now, I know exactly what you're probably thinking right now. Okay, but what is this going to cost me? And yes, the initial cost of aluminum is higher. We're typically talking $30 to $50 per square foot, compared to about $15 to $25 for wood. However, when you zoom out and factor in the zero maintenance and the true total cost of ownership over a 20-year horizon, aluminum is actually by far the more economical choice. Wood requires constant staining, sealing, and eventual repairs from rot. Aluminum? Zero maintenance. Period.
And the lifespan is just staggering. We're talking 50+ years. I want you to imagine your deck, sitting there perfectly level, completely safe from rot and fire, literally half a century from now. TimberTech actually backs this entire system with a lifetime limited warranty on major components. It completely transforms your deck from a depreciating, high-maintenance liability into a permanent, value-add asset for your home.
Section 1. The catch. Why execution requires engineering expertise.
So here's the catch. This incredibly advanced system can completely fail if it isn't installed with exact commercial-grade precision. Let me be clear, this is absolutely not a weekend DIY project. The installation requires some serious technical know-how. Step 1. Thermal expansion gapping. Installers literally have to calculate the ambient temperature on the actual day of installation to leave exact millimeter gaps. That way, the metal can safely expand in the summer heat without buckling. Step 2. They must use specialized Cortex fasteners and properly manage any metal shavings to prevent aesthetic damage. And Step 3. The frame is only as good as its base. It demands code-compliant, deep concrete footings dug 30 to 36 inches down, way past the Colorado frost line, just to prevent wind uplift and heaving.
Because the tolerances here are so incredibly tight, protecting this massive financial investment absolutely requires an elite installation team. Think about it. If an uncertified contractor takes a shortcut, uses the wrong screws, or messes up those expansion gaps, you could easily void that incredible lifetime warranty. You need a manufacturer-partnered contractor. Specifically, you want a TimberTech Platinum Pro.
Section 2. The Wise Guide. Meet 5280 Exteriors.
This brings us to the local experts who have totally mastered this highly specialized system, 5280 Exteriors. These guys bring over 18 years of expertise to the table, specifically navigating the really tough logistical and physical challenges of building up in the high country. We're talking places like Summit County, Vail, and Castle Rock. They're already well-known experts with high-precision materials like James Hardie siding and Pella windows. Their whole company culture is built around meticulous project management and doing complex exterior jobs right the very first time. And, most importantly for this discussion, they are a TimberTech Platinum Pro certified contractor.
And let me tell you, that Platinum Pro status is a massive deal for you as a homeowner. Why? Because it unlocks exclusive 5 to 7 year labor warranties. Sure, standard material warranties might cover a broken beam, but they definitely won't cover the thousands of dollars in labor to dismantle and actually rebuild the deck. Because 5280 Exteriors is factory-trained and partnered directly with the manufacturer, they can offer extended labor coverage backed by TimberTech itself. Uncertified builders simply cannot offer you that level of security. But hey, you don't just have to take the spec sheet's word for it. Look at this genuine local feedback from a verified Google review by Kyle Miller. He says, "The entire process was very professional and all workers were respectful of our home and property. Would highly recommend." When you are making a multi-decade investment in your property, having that baseline of trust, crystal clear communication, cleanliness, and premium craftsmanship is absolutely essential. So, I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative thought. Is your home ready for the ultimate lifetime upgrade? The era of the disposable, rotting, high-maintenance wood deck in Colorado is officially coming to an end. It is time to build a foundation that protects your family from wildfires, withstands the brutal Rocky Mountain climate, and looks absolutely stunning while doing it. If you are ready to build a deck that truly lasts a lifetime, you need to reach out to 5280 Exteriors. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and we will see you on the next one.